Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on when you're listening to this. Welcome to the 96th of 100 episodes of Bard Advice. This is a podcast where I, Charles Chaz Yahzick, the DM, the Bard, however you may know me, do my best to answer any questions that you might have regarding D&D, or anime, or sports, or any kind of nerd stuff. Hope that everybody's doing well. Welcome to Friday, and it's Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I hope that everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I had a good one. And what else? Let's do the things that we like to do at the opening of the show. So, at the top of the show, we like to remind everyone of the email of the show, which is bardadvice@gmail.com. It also looks like bardadvice. Please send all questions, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques, etc. there. bardadvice@gmail.com. If you want to get some merch, you can do so over at manshorts.com, or more importantly and notably, you can get some dice over at krakendice.com. I think there are still some of those left if you want to go grab some of those limited dice sets that we made with them this last year. And if you want to contribute to anything that I'm doing musically, you can always do so directly via PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, all of which are Yahzick, Yahzick. So, as I said, hope that everybody's doing well. Also, at the top of the show, we like to thank all of our members, patrons, our super chatters. Remind everybody to please like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, rate the podcast, join the Discord. There's a link for the Discord in the chat. Thanks, River. So feel free to click on that. Don't click on the Discord links that I have in the descriptions of the videos. I really should just take those off because those are all dead links. But you can join using that one. So, all right, so that's all the housekeeping stuff out of the way. Let's get into some questions. Actually, before we get into questions, we want to get into Art Corner, because that's a thing that we like to do on this show. So for Art Corner this week, there's a couple of things that I wanted to recommend to everybody. The first of which is the Is It Cake Holiday show that is on Netflix. I think there's only 4 episodes, and I've only seen half of it, but I love the Is It Cake shows. Those are always real fun. And they've done 3 seasons of it before, so this is just kind of like a holiday edition. It's a fun little thing to watch. If you're interested in and like those kind of baking shows, those are real fun. And also, this is a bit of a blast from the past recommendation for people, because I would hope that people that are my age or older have seen this. But just in case there are any people that are our age that haven't seen it, or if you're perhaps a younger person who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend for the holidays watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's always real fun to watch. And part of the reason that I mention this is that we're going to be talking a little bit about nostalgia on today's episode, just in general. And so this was just a thing that I thought, like, you know what, this deserves some recognition. I might have actually already done this before on this show, because it is a really great movie. But I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. And hey, even if you have, it's always a fun rewatch during the holidays. And then, of course, the last thing that we'll add onto Art Corner is a reminder of the other show that I do with my friend Songaria on his YouTube channel. It's called Bartificial Intelligence. That is on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We build AI music with Suno AI and the audience. So it's AI music created by humans for other humans. And it's a fun time. So if you're ever interested in that, please stop by. All right. So that's everything for the opening stuff and for Art Corner. I have a lot of Chris questions this evening. Just going to go ahead and throw that out there. And when I say a lot, I mean 4 of the 7 are Chris questions. But they are all good, so I'm excited for them. We've got 7 questions that we'll go through this evening, and then we'll probably do a little chat. And then we'll be out of here. So the first question, as I mentioned, a lot of them are. So this question is from Chris, and Chris asks, it's Black Friday, and unlike in our world, there are actually great sales going on. What does each class do, missed a word, what does each class do to prepare for the actual madness of when the doors open? Thank you for the question, Chris. This one was fun. I actually just threw the answer together for this a few minutes before the show started. But I think I did pretty good at answering it. So chat, feel free to voice your opinions on what this would look like. But this is what I have. And before anything, thank you very much, Puffy Cheeto, for the memberships. That's very nice of you. It's very helpful for the channel, and also very nice to the people who were gifted those memberships, because you get cool little emojis and stuff. So thank you for that. Okay, Black Friday classes. Here we go. Barbarian carbo loads and practices intimidating roars in front of the mirror. When the doors open, they immediately rage and start charging through the crowd. So they're pretty straightforward, barbarians. Bard spends their time composing a song. When the doors open, they perform this song in an attempt to calm the frenzied crowds. I guess, calm or manipulate. Either or. Cleric spends their time in prayer, blessing themselves and their party. When the doors open, they just kind of hang around and help heal trampled shoppers. The druid prepares snacks in the form of good berries. When the doors open, they wild shape into a small animal like a cat that will allow them to get through the crowds more efficiently. Fighter makes a battle plan, goes over a map of the store. When the doors open, they immediately spend their action surge to get to the deals more quickly. Monk prepares by practicing unarmored movement, meditating, and stretching. When the doors open, they use Step of the Wind to burst ahead of everyone. Paladin pledges an oath to get the best deals. When the doors open, they use their shopping cart like a shield or a battering ram. Ranger scouts the area days before, marks the important areas. When the doors open, the Ranger uses their tracking ability to find the best discounts. Rogue also cases the store days before, but instead looks for vulnerable entrance and exit points. When the doors open, they stealthily run through the store, grab all of the stuff they want, and then slip out the back exit. Sorcerers use metamagic to maximize their shopping chances, i.e. Applying like Twin Spell on coupons. When the doors open, they use Firebolt to clear pathways. Warlock makes a bargain with their patron to get guidance on the best sales. When the doors open, they summon a packed weapon, which is a shopping basket, and Eldritch blast their way through the other shoppers. And finally, the wizard also spends their prep time studying the layout of the store, but when the doors open, they strategically cast Misty Step to teleport to the best deals before everyone else. So, there we go. That's my list. Those are all of where I would put the classes for Black Friday. What do we have in chat? Warlock readies an action to cast Hunger of Hadar right in front of the doors. Druid wild shapes into an insect and scouts out the best deals. There you go. That's better than a cat, positioning themselves in an advantageous corner of the store before it opens. Yeah, no doubt. You could turn into like a gnat and just go in there and hang out beforehand. And then, as soon as the doors open, you're already where you need to be. Sorcerers don't want, and the rogues make deals with or steal from the sorcerers who popped in early to take first dibs. Cleric readies a divine intervention in order to secure the hot ticket item of the season. Rogue has already finished their shopping. Yeah, no doubt. Rogue doesn't need Black Friday deals. They've got 5-finger discounts all year round, Rogue hits the stores the night before. Paladin lets everyone enter first, so it misses out on the best sales. Monk has no need for earthly possessions. Oh, that's a good point. And then the Artificer, who I always leave out. Artificer builds a tunneler to drill into the store and gets in before anyone. There you go. Fighter's a Battlemaster, uses trip attack to get ahead of the lines. Yeah, definitely a Battlemaster fighter for that. Would definitely be super helpful. I wonder, that's an interesting thing. Like I have a lot of fun doing these questions, but just a quick note on it. Like, that's a really cool concept RP-wise. Like, if you were to put your heroes that were perhaps medieval or like, D&D realm in their theme as characters into the modern era, that could be a lot of fun. Druid could do the same thing if they touch items and then wild shape. Wizard preps time stop. Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go. The wizard just stops time. Wizard owns the shop and is raking in the gold this season. Yeah, no doubt. Rogue Guild exists. Store is already emptied when the managers arrive to get the store ready to open. Bard sharps the manager to get everything for free. Yes, definitely the Bard, I think, with just general persuasion. Maybe not even magic. Maybe just chaw flexing. The Bard would probably be Yeah, now that I think about it in more depth, the bard very well might just like be friends with somebody that works at the store and just convince them to let them in the night before to get the items that they want, and like, hold them up at the register so that then they can just kind of walk in and go straight to the register and buy their stuff. That's bardy stuff. Oh, all right. Well, that was fun. That was a fun little trip, thinking of the classes in Black Friday. I'm going to think more on that, D&D classes in the modern era. That could be big fun. All right, so moving on. Thank you for the question, Chris. The next question is from Anne, and Anne asks, Hi, Bard. It's been announced that Baldur's Gate 3 will be releasing a new patch in 2025 that gives us 12 new subclasses. Have you had a chance to read through them? Which one are you most excited to try? Does this mean a new Baldur's Gate 3 campaign? Thanks, and happy Thanksgiving to you and Man Shorts. Thank you, Anne, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. So, I did see about this. I did read about this. I'm excited about this. And it might mean another Baldur's Gate 3 campaign, because boy howdy. I had a lot of fun doing the runs we've done, the first run and then the Flim Flam. But with these added subclasses, that could change everything. Now I'm going to read through what they are for people who don't know or haven't seen this yet, and then also talk about like what I'm most excited for. So this is the IGN article about it, and so these are the new subclasses. So the College of Glamour Bard, which grants you Mantle of Inspiration that lets you give your allies 5 temporary hit points. Should an enemy attack when it's cast, they'll find themselves charmed. That's pretty insane. Play your hand correctly, you'll be able to use this to your advantage with Mantle of Majesty. Target charmed enemies and you can command them to flee, move closer, freeze, drop to the ground, or drop their weapon. Now, let me just say, off the bat, that I want that. I want to do that. I need a character that does those things. So the new Barbarian path subclass is the Path of Giants. So you get Giant Strength. These Barbarians benefit from Giant's Rage. It's a passive that grants both size and strength, allowing you to deal additional damage with throw attacks. Increased carry capacity. That's pretty cool. New Death Domain Cleric. It's pretty neato. A new cantrip called Toll the Dead that causes 1 to 8 damage. When your cleric rings the bell of impending doom, a number that scales if your target has already been damaged, which sounds crazy. And added the homebrewed ability to explode nearby corpses. That sounds real fun. Circle of Stars Druid, another one that I'm really excited about. These druids can take starry forms, and in like a constellation forms of either the Archer, the Chalice, or the Dragon. Each of them gives them abilities to do cool stuff. Paladin Oath of the Crown. Guide your companions in battle with righteous clarity. Taunt enemies with strategic interrupts. Keep your party standing with divine allegiance. Absorbing damage while restoring their health. So that's kind of neat. That sounds like kind of a more tanky paladin. Arcane Archer Fighter. So cool stuff with psychic damage, it looks like, and bows. Drunken Master Monk. You can consume alcohol straight from your inventory to recover ki. That's pretty cool. By sharing a bottle with your enemies, use Intoxicating Strike, generate a buff towards your armor class and your chance to hit drunk targets. Drunk enemies are susceptible to the Drunken Master's abilities like Sobering Realization, which sobers up drunk targets, dealing physical and psychic damage. Ranger Swarm Keeper. That sounds way cool, actually. Cloud of Jellyfish deals extra lightning damage. Flurry of Moths deals psychic damage. Legion of Bees deals piercing damage and forces the enemy to make strength saving throw to be knocked back 15 feet. And each swarm has the ability to provide you with teleportation abilities, which just sounds totally awesome. Sorcerer gets, skipped one. Rogue is Swashbuckler. So these are more of a pirate type class. Play dirty by tossing sand at enemies to blind them. Flick your weapon or at a target to disarm them. Use fancy footwork passive while meleeing your enemy to ensure they can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn. That's pretty beastly. Sorcerer's Shadow Magic. You get superior dark vision. What? That subclass would be worth it just for that. You also get Shadow Walk to use between places of dim light and darkness. It also lets you call forth the perfectly homebrewed Hound of Ill Omen to harass your foes. Use Strength of the Grave to prevent you from being downed. That's something that would be really helpful for honor runs, although I've not done one of those. Hexblade Warlocks, which I've run a Hexblade Warlock, I think in 3.5. I think Hexblade Warlocks, I think they were just called Hexblades as the prestige class in the Player's Handbook 2. The 3.5 PHB 2. So I think that their stuff is, it would curse your enemies and force their souls to do your bidding, slay any enemy that isn't generally an element of nature, construct, giant, blob, or already dead. You'll be able to erase their spirit from the corpse for 10 turns. New summon can deal necro damage, rip away a chunk of your enemy's soul to provide Hexblade Warlock with healing, which is just nasty. And then Blade Singing Wizards. So new Blade Song ability grants you supernatural speed, agility, and focus. Gives a bonus to any Constitution saving throw you make. Also, probably helpful for honor mode. So I will say, the new subclasses not only make me want to do another run, they also make me want to do honor mode. So maybe that's the next run, is the honor mode run. In which case, going Glamour Bard sounds pretty gas for that. But I'm also like really intrigued by the Swarm, the Ranger Swarm. And the Circle of Stars Druid, the only thing I worry about with the Circle of Stars Druid is that it's kind of the same issue that I had with Flim as a Druid. Like, I rarely wild shaped. I guess that I did overall throughout the game, but towards the end I just treated it like a spellcaster. And I wonder if having that much to do would, in a way, like limit you. You know what? Because like with the College of Glamour Bard, you're just kind of all about that directing people in combat. That's kind of your deal. Same with the Swarm with the Ranger, but maybe the Druid stuff gives you too much agency. Swarm Ranger sounds more Druidish. Yeah, that is true. I wonder if they wouldn't just like let the Ranger do the Constellation thing and then just have the Druid be the Swarm one. These are all my favorite odd classes from D&D. Wish we got Divine Soul Sork, but Blade Singer Wizard is huge. Yeah. Druids are full casters who can fill any role. Yeah. I've always treated Druids that way. But yeah, it'd be a hard toss-up for me. I probably would end up going Glamour Bard. It also, the composition of the party matters too. Because if I do another run with Justin, Cody, and Ryan, it would depend on what they would want to play. And, oh man, I'm interested. I should pick their brains on what they want to do. See if we can figure that out. Swarmkeeper's an actual published Ranger subclass, though. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Moon Druids are hands down the best Druids for what? Yeah, I like Moon Druids. Glamour Bard is so badass. It's one of the few subclasses I've never gotten to experiment in game with in 5e. So strong. Yeah, I'll be really excited about that. That's what I'm gonna do. We'll do a Glamour mode. We'll do a Glamour Bard honor mode. What happens, by the way, if you do die in honor mode? Do you just create a new character? Is that character just dead forever? Or is that the whole game? You just lost the game if you die. Favorite character was a Druid, yeah. I've run some fun Druids. I've run more fun Bards and Rangers. Pirate, what are you doing? You can keep playing, or you can do the honorable thing and restart. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought Pirate was doing. Actually, I see that that's not what he was doing, but it's what he ended up doing. So, yeah, we've all lost the game, anybody that plays the game. That hasn't happened to me in like over a year. That's what I meant, Pirate. I haven't lost the game in a long time. Okay, so that was fun. It was a good convo. I'm excited now to think about that and maybe get that planned. We're talking about playing more Phasmophobia too, so. All right, so moving on. Thank you for the question. Thank you, Anne. That was from Anne. Thank you for the question, Anne. Next question is from Chris, statistically. And Chris asks, hey, Charles, I hope your Thanksgiving is treating you well. Didn't expect to write another question so soon, but this is sort of a strange world we live in. Elon Musk has stated an interest in wanting to buy Hasbro to secure the rights to D&D. Do you think this would be the final nail in the coffin for D&D? Thank you for the question, Chris. I did see something about this. So I wrote what I hope is a halfway intelligent response. So I'll go through that. Chat, please voice your opinions. I'm interested to hear what the community's thoughts are about that. I'm kind of split on this because part of me feels like he can't make it any worse, but another part of me thinks he very much could. I suspect that his plan would be to, remove anything that he doesn't like or add things that he wants in there. He is kind of like the ultimate edgelord power gamer type, so I can't say whether that would be for the better or not. I mean, he does have millions of fans, so they might see a boost in their sales, even if it's just temporarily. I think regardless, it's more alarming to me that he seems mostly interested in the AI aspect of things, because I think regardless, AI is going to smash its way into D&D quick, fast, and in a hurry. I mean, if they can create like text, audio, video DMs that can run entire one-shots or modules, and they offer the option to customize that, I think it's going to bring them a lot of money, because in my experience in this space, the biggest complaint I hear is difficulty finding a group to play. And whether that's because like maybe you live in an area where not a lot of people are, there's not like a local game store, or it could just be a scheduling thing where it's like, well, you have friends that would play, but you haven't played in a long time because, life, it's hard to schedule. So either way, I think single player D&D is probably going to have a big boost in the next few years because of AI. I'm not a big Musk fan. I'm not a big rich people fan. I'll say this: if Elon bought Hasbro, I don't think that it would be any better or worse than it is now. It's possible that it might push people away, but Wizards has been doing that anyway. And the people that start playing or start playing again because of him buying the company, that might, those numbers might offset one another. So I think it's probably going to be a wash. But again, that's assuming that he's even really going to buy it. This is all speculation. This is all just kind of like rumor. So there's not anything that's been set in stone. I don't know that it would be too much of a difference. If he buys Hasbro, he better not mess with the toy makers. Finding a good DM is a challenge too. Everyone wants to play, no one wants to run a game. What if Elon just wants to shut it down? Maybe, but, I don't know. I mean, we've been talking about this for the last year or two on this show about the status of the game and the future of the game, and I don't know. Maybe it's run its course. I feel like Dark Sun would be on a pedestal, would be interesting to see. Not going to say whether that's good or bad. Can he just stick to rocket ships and leave things people love alone? Yeah, rich people gonna rich people, This is a thing, it's like you talk to your friends about like, hey, yeah, I've been thinking about buying a new computer. Like, that's how he talks about like, yeah, I've been, I was thinking about buying D&D. You know what I might do? I'll just buy D&D. It's, it's hard for me to like relate to those kind of people on any kind of real level, but I don't know. It's not going to make any difference to me. I'm not going to see the game any differently than I have been already. So maybe Mazio too. I don't know. What do you find? What do you all find to be the quality of DMs at FLGSs? Oh, well, I guess it probably depends on the FLGS, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he can buy it if he wants. It really isn't going to change much, in my opinion. I was thinking of buying the color blue. Yeah, for real. That's what that's what that must be like. What if I just bought the word hamburger? And they're like, "What are you talking about, man?" And he's like, "You know, the word." Like if I bought it and then got a royalty every time it was said. Just very bizarre conversations. Doesn't try to mess with the OGL again. Oh, yeah. I mean, that'll probably be... I imagine that if he took the reins, that would be the first thing to go. He'd be like, why didn't you guys get rid of this? All right. Well, let's keep moving. Thank you for the question, Chris. The next question is from Trevor. Got to keep it moving because we got 4 more questions. The next question is from Trevor, and Trevor asks, "Hey, Yaz, how would I do? Oh, I guess this is what it is. How would I do a Yahzick PC or NPC? As in, what's the stat block look like? Class level is in Bard and expertise and performance, obviously. What about Bardic School, Lair, and legendary actions, magic items, vape of rhyming, feats? I'd love to see chat put out some stat blocks of themselves, too." Thank you for the question, Trevor. Now, technically, what I made is not a stat block, but a character sheet. And I think I've done this before. So I did it again. And this is what I came up with. So hold on. Let me go back to the question. And then I think that this shows the window capture. Yeah, so we can see the character here. I think I already did this. And the results were probably similar because... well, we'll just talk about what I did. So I built out a rough character sheet, and I think, I think I've done this before, but I did it again. I did 9 levels of College of Lore Bard and 3 levels of Circle of Dreams Druid. Standard array, made my scores 12 Strength, 9 Dex, 10 Con, 14 Int, 13 Wiz, 20 Cha. I didn't really customize anything. I just kind of built the sheet. So what I'd like to do is take this next week and make myself out like a full customized character sheet / stat block. I'd probably homebrew a lot of stuff. Like I'd have like a guitar or a mandolin, which, you know, I mean, I guess that's covered under loot, but spells would probably be stuff like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Charm Person, Moonbeam. So that's kind of what it is. I do need to make my own. I do need to make like an official one that's more official than that, because that one's kind of just like threw it together. College of Whispers, a pipe of smoke monsters. Didn't we do this exact exercise in the Discord months ago? Yeah, maybe we might have done this. It's quite possible. So. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Dex is definitely the dump stat. Been finding a few solo RPG players on YouTube using games designed to be solo of the Mythic Game Master emulator. Interesting. Pipe of Smoke Monsters is my favorite wondrous item from Xanathars. I think I have Xanathars too. Back in February. Okay. What episode was that, Cats? I do have a giving an F dump stat. You know, somebody reached out to me on TikTok recently, and forgive me for forgetting their name, but they were kind of vague. They didn't really go into detail, but they just mentioned that they had wanted to use something of mine from a song as some sort of a merchandise. And I was like, yeah, go for it, because it's like not a big deal. I wonder if that's what that is. Because it could be. That is a popular one. So many RP opportunities with that item. Be an NPC customer service tech support class. Or level 0 bard class with low stats but proficiency and performance. Yeah, see, I think my character, this is why coming back to that idea of like these fantasy characters living in the modern world, because that's the thing about a bard is like I'd probably be like real entertaining and I can write you a song and like tell you jokes and tell a story. But then also I don't have a lot of other like real life social skills. So I mean, I guess that I'm okay at communicating. But I wonder about what my specific spells would be and just getting more into the nitty-gritty of making the sheet. So I'll do that this week. Are they using you as a villain? Oh, villain bards. Oh, that's a good point. Well, I would like to consider myself to be chaotic good. So I would hope that if I were existing in a D&D character form that I would be CG. But I could make a CE version for a BBEG version. An Office Space is Purgatory. Episode 59. Okay, thank you. That'd be really interesting now, actually, that I've done this to go back and see how those align. Isn't that a great communication device? That's true. Skill level of 20. An introvert, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would want to comically dump my... maybe I don't do standard array, and I just kind of go for how it feels. Because I feel like 9 is not even low enough for my dex. I feel like my dex would be a 6. And I kind of now feel like that's that I did before. Chaotic good characters make better villains or anti-villains than neutral evil. Oh, yeah. Potentially. Because it's all about circumstance, right? And hero and villain, all of these words are relative to what's going on in the story. Chaotic good, the guy that steals the work stapler yet buys the homeless guy lunch. Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, chaotic good kind of insinuates like a bit of a Robin Hood thing, right? So, the relativity when it comes to what the law is and what morals are. And who knows what all that stuff is these days. Roll d6 and drop the highest 3. Maybe. I don't know if I would want to make it random, though, if the goal were to make it accurate. I wouldn't want to feel encumbered by, I wouldn't want to feel restricted or encumbered in my creative process. I'm not going to make something crazy busted. I'll keep it balanced. The dastardly doppelganger of bardadvice. Every villain is the hero of their own story. It's true. It's probably very true for a lot of them. All right. So, I will make it my homework between this week's episode and next week's episode to build out a more intensive character sheet / stat block for that. And then it can just exist in general for anybody to use in any of their games if they want to. So let's keep moving. Thank you for the question, Trevor. The next question, you're not going to believe it, is from Chris. And Chris asks, oh, this is a nice one. Hope all is well with you and yours. It fills me with a deep sadness that these questions are quickly coming to an end. Yes, indeed. While I understand and respect yours and the team's choice of moving to semi-permanent hiatus, I like that, semi-permanent hiatus. I do hope that after some time, Man Shorts might consider returning for some holiday episodes. It has been announced that the voice actress Pamela Hayden, known for voicing Milhouse on The Simpsons, is going to retire. She voiced the character for 35 years, a majority of her own life as well as most viewers today. Which voice actor will you miss the most when it's their time to put down the mic? Thank you for the question, Chris. That's an interesting one. So, yes, it's sad. I don't know what the real future is. We'll talk about that later because there's another Chris question about that at the end. Whoops, that we'll discuss. Admittedly, I'm not aware of the current status of any of these voice actors as their current, working status. So I'll just shout out some of my favorite voice actors, just in general, as far as who's working. And feel free to do so in the chat. John DiMaggio, Tara Strong, Seth MacFarlane is super talented. Nancy Cartwright, obviously, legend. Frank Welker, Kevin Michael Richardson, Rob Paulson, who, if you don't know offhand by name, Rob Paulson does Yakko on the Animaniacs, as well as a bunch of other ones. There's a lot of really good ones. I'm sure that there's a lot more that I am either forgetting or I just don't know their names. You know, I think that the guy who voiced Arthur Morgan was pretty awesome. Wayne June, he was the narrator in Darkest Dungeon. He has one of the greatest voices I've ever heard. Jim Cummings, yes, of course. Winnie the Pooh. The average character is just one bad day away from being the BBEG of their own story. Yeah, for sure. See Falling Down. Obligatory, his name was Robert Paulson. Yeah, that's true. Voice acting, I feel like, is something that would be interesting and fun to get into. I feel like it's a thing that I would probably be really good at, but I know that it's a super competitive space, and with all the things going on with AI at the moment, it's probably going to take a hit within the next few years. Maybe not permanently, but definitely, you know, like advertisers, right? Like people that are in charge of like media marketing, like creating videos either for like pre-rolls on YouTube ads or like still on like traditional television. There's no shot they're going to hire real human beings to do like the narrative stuff, the narrative work for those kind of commercials, like the drug commercial side effects and stuff, or all the legal stuff. I just, you know, that's all going to be AI. So they're the villain that commits to being the villain. It's usually someone who snaps or makes the tough calls to keep everyone else's consciences sane. But yeah, those are the ones that I thought of that come to mind. Get into voice acting or commercials or radio. Yeah, it's hard. It's because it's a thing I think that probably a lot of people are good at, and it's just competitive. I think any kind of art, I think any kind of space where you're using art to generate money is super competitive. I guess it's all competitive, and it's going to get more so, like I said, as AI starts to spread its tendrils throughout everything. Half of YouTube ads are already voiced by AI. It will just get harder to tell. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And the video is getting so close. And I was talking about this, about the Coca-Cola ad. It's close. Like, yes, you can tell. Certainly if you have a background in graphic design or animation, it's obvious. But I'm telling you that within a year, but just only because, like, if you think back to where AI video was a year ago, when, I don't know if anybody remembers all those crazy videos of, like, the people eating lava and stuff, and it was, like, super off-putting because it was just so extreme and intensive. And now it's so polished and clean, and it's like, it looks more like, you know, like mid CGI. But pretty soon, we won't be able to tell the difference, because, you know, our eyes can only see so much. But we got off topic. We're talking about, yeah, voice actors. Yeah, John DiMaggio, the guy that does the voice of Bender. The other thing that's cool about voice actors is that, I mean, I guess regular actors are this way too, but I feel like regular actors are known for either specific roles or like specific type of roles. But a voice actor, they could be the voice on like 10 of your favorite shows. It's always kind of been a cool thing to me. It's just like, oh, who's this? Who does this person, like, who voices this person? And then what else have they voiced? Also, just a quick note on voice acting, and I feel badly because I can't think of the woman's name who voices Luffy in One Piece. But the person who voices Luffy in One Piece also voices Turbo Grandma in Dun Dun Dun, which that's something that I should have on Art Corners, and a new anime that's real good. But it's interesting, like, hearing Luffy's voice with this character. You get, you know, you mentally associate somebody with a voice or a voice with a character for so long, and then seeing it elsewhere. That's kind of the true case with actors too, right? If you get used to somebody in a specific role, and then, geez, I remember watching like Breaking Bad after having watched Malcolm in the Middle, and was just like astonished at the level of good voice actors can do so much. When you're talented like Matt Mercer, you can be in a cutscene with multiple characters, all of whom you voice act. It would happen in the Monster Hunter World DLC. Dun 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 is so good. Yeah, it is, indeed. Highly recommend it. This site is awesome for finding who is which characters. Which site is that? H. John Benjamin. Oh man, thank you, Kirk. I should have thought of him. So here's the thing: I'm not a fan of Archer, really. I don't know if it's the animation style. I don't know what it is. I think it's funny. I think it's well written. It just never was for me. But I immediately associate H. John Benjamin's voice with Bob from Bob's Burgers. I love Bob's Burgers. My wife loves Bob's Burgers. We watch it a lot, and he voices Bob. And then he's the voice of Archer, but then he also does other stuff too. Yeah, Benjamin's great. Some really good female voice actors who play both women or younger male characters. Yeah, Bart's voice actor is Nancy Cartwright, who I did mention. She's great. And Tara Strong did a bunch of characters on shows like when we were kids. Like she was Tommy Pickles. There's a handful that she's done. I guess I really should mention people like Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, and any of those folks. Speaking of Arthur Morgan, why don't we have a Red Dead Redemption movie? Anybody want to answer that? And hey, while we're at it, make GTA a movie. Why? Like, these games have survived, GTA specifically. Although, you'd have to make GTA a show. You probably have to make Red Dead a show too. There's just too much content. I don't know. Getting off track with my train of thought, but just thinking out loud, you know what I mean? All right, so we have got 2 more questions, and then we'll do a little chat. This next question is from Kyle, and Kyle asks, "Hey Charles, with the holidays upon us and the general uncertainty the world is seemingly always facing, I find myself spending a good amount of time daydreaming about nostalgia from my childhood. I'm 39. I think we're around the same age. Yes, I'm 37. Anyway, my question is, what are some of your favorite childhood memories? Best of luck after the show. It's been very enjoyable, and I hope you bring it back one day." Thank you for the question, Kyle. Yes, indeed. I am close to 39, although still only 37. But I'm sure I'll be 39 before I know it. So, okay. I've got a lot of things to say about this, actually. I mentioned that we would talk about nostalgia, and we'll be cutting it a little close, but that's okay. Let me just catch up on chat really quick. Take-Two Rockstar has those IPs on lockdown. GTA has made them multiple. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, for a game to have that much staying power, I think that the story and the characters are a big part of it. Link battling. Oh, River, you said it. Okay, let me go through this stuff. So I actually was recently been talking about this with my sister-in-law because she's very that way with like nostalgia, and I am too to an extent, right? I think that's just the nature of getting older. You know, you think back. As for like 90s nostalgic stuff in general, I think a lot about stuff like having CD players like with you, like in your pocket and stuff, and the Game Boy, and Jinko jeans, Pogs, Tamagotchis, Pokemon Red and Blue, and going up to the Books A Million at the mall and trading or battling other kids with cable links or with the actual cards, playing the card game. Happy Meals toys. TV was much bigger event before the internet, so like Saturday morning cartoons I think were a big deal. And just like TV in general, like they had like what was it called, Snick, and it would come on and it was like Friday night or Saturday night on Nickelodeon, and it would be like Kenan and Kel and all that, and definitely Saturday morning cartoons. Stuff like Recess and Doug. Brick and mortar big bookstores with coffee shops inside. You know, in Jacksonville, we still have Chamberlain Book Mine. There's actually a few locations, and that's a really cool place. Kenan and Kel, who loves orange soda, and Good Burger, and also just like going to see movies in the theater and stuff. Like, it was just different, I guess. You'll be 50 before you know it. Yeah, I'm sure. 5 seasons. Legend of Zelda show. Oh, yeah. Or like the Mario show, Adult Swim and Toonami, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Scholastic Book Fair, AOL chat rooms, walk-in arcades. These are some other things I wrote down. I think back to specific times in my life. Memories of media at that time come to mind. Oh, dude, like when the Matrix came out, that was insane. So I went to 6th grade in St. Pete, Florida, technically Gulfport. And the school that I went to was very small. It only had 16 students in it. I was very, very blessed to have a family who was willing and able to afford for me to go to this small private school because it was a really good experience for me, I think. There was a public library about a block away from the school, and some of us would walk to the library and hang out there until our parents came to pick us up, later in the afternoon. And because of that, I participated in the library's like pseudo marionette performance of a Midsummer Night's Dream. So that was fun. One of my buddies was super into Marilyn Manson. I had another friend, and I would go to his house to play PlayStation, Twisted Metal, and Bushido Blade, Vigilante 8. I was really into Dragon Ball Z at the time and took Taekwondo classes. High school is kind of, it had its moments. Lots of skipping school, breaking rules, but also lots of cool stuff. I had a lot of cool experiences with the school band, being part of the band and winning so many awards. We were really good. And that was fun to be a part of. And I also started and played in a ska band. That was pretty fun. In my late teens, early 20s was when I met Justin. We started making movies, started a band, made more music. We used to ghost hunt a lot. We were talking about Soul Light in the Phasmophobia playthrough. That was one of the places that we've been to for ghost hunting. And just playing Halo, Guitar Hero, and stuff. Most of my high school experience is a drug-induced fog. That, same. I mean, truly. Like, it was pretty much just like a lot of music and like not going to school, like getting in trouble. That episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, when her aunts are arguing and Sabrina daydreams that she will have to move in with Keenan and Kel. Got my first gaming system, NES. Play it all the time. County fairs. Oh, yeah, county fairs. County fairs. Fair's still fun. You can go to the fair. You can go to the fair. See some chickens. Get you some cotton candy. Nostalgia for actually playing D&D, especially in person in a friendly group, not some league. More nostalgic watching old Christmas movies like White Christmas, consoles. Time to lose some quarters of Marvel vs. Capcom. Dude. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Time Crisis just ate all my parents' quarters. Watching shows with all my teenage heartthrobs. Home Improvement, Boy Meets World, Saved by the Bell. Oh, dude, Saved by the Bell. We used to call it getting saved. We used to watch Saved by the Bell, and just that show, like, the further in time we go, the crazier that show is. And I don't know if anybody's seen those videos about, I think they're called Zach Morris's Trash. It's one of the funniest things ever, because it just goes through these plot points, like these episode plots, like point by point, objectively, and it's just like, Zach Morris kind of sucks. Like, he's awful, and he was supposed to be like Mr. Charming, main character. Carnival. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was the game, so much time and money. Yeah, definitely. Harbinger of Time. Oh, yes, thank you. That's a good point, Pirate. Appreciate it. Keeping me on track. All right, so thank you for the question, Kyle. That was a fun little trip down memory lane for all the nostalgic stuff. But yes, nostalgia is always a great escape point for if and you're having a rough time in general. All right, so the last question is from Chris, and this is a different Chris from the first Chris's, but a Chris nonetheless. So this last question is from Chris, and this will lead us into Art Corner. This will lead us into Chat. That's the one. And Chris asks, "Hey Chaz, as we wind down closer to the end of the year and our Bard Advice grand finale, I can't help but wonder what the future of the Man Shorts channel will look like. Similar to now, but less frequently? Temporary hiatus? Restructuring the type of content you make? Love the content and just want to know what to look forward to. Best of luck on everyone's future endeavors." Thank you, Chris. That is kind of you. So I also wrote out what was kind of a thoughtful response to this as well. We are all Chris. PBS Kids, Carmen Sandiego, no doubt. Okay. So, to answer your question, Chris, I honestly have no idea. I can say that I have a lot of hours of satisfactory content. So, at a minimum, I'll be releasing that. It's not like we're going to shut the channel down. We'll keep it up, obviously. We're not going to be doing the D&D editions, at least not for a while. Knowing us, we'll post on the channel when we want to, if we want to. We might do more Drunk Before Noon. I did recently write a script for one of those. I actually have a couple of like unfilmed scripts of that would be kind of fun to do. And so I've always got more ideas for that. Justin and I are always working on projects, putting together scripts. So we may just post some of that. If we ever do something like a proof of concept, or maybe have another idea for something else. Overall, I think I'm always going to have some sort of an online presence, some sort of a footprint online. I just can't help myself. I'm looking heavily for work, and once I start working full time, I'm just not going to have the time to upkeep, the D&D editions, the Bardadvice show, etc. So, and as for the D&D stuff, like, we're all kind of like tired of it. Not that it's, it's not that we dislike it. It's just, it's been a long time. It's been almost 10 years we've been doing it. And maybe we'll think of a new funny thing and start making that. I wouldn't rule it out. The D&D edition's creation was totally random. I've told that story. It was just a random script that Justin put together, and we shot it and released it, and people liked it. And so then we just built upon it. So it might be something like that. I don't know. I did think of a really funny concept for a video with my buddy Bobby. He was actually the one that gave me most of the idea, but then I kind of expounded upon it a bit and thought, that'd be a really funny sketch. So who knows? I don't think that neither Justin or I are opposed to, maybe doing some sort of a rebrand or restructure of things, and just kind of keep all of those videos up as just sort of legacy for people to watch if and when they want. But yeah, that's my answer. I think, like I said, I'm always going to be doing something. Even if that's only making music, it could just be, maybe I'll do, I don't know. But yeah, I'll be around. So behind on the D&D editions. No worries. You've got plenty to catch up on. Love more Drunk Before Noon. Yeah, Drunk Before Noon's big fun. Some ideas I'd like to hash out with you, Chaz, based on what you asked, and let everyone know to look for updates on the disc. Yeah, send me more messages about that. Making the same content for a decade. Yeah, for sure. It's just a lot. Honestly, we got a lot more out of it, I think, than maybe we should have or thought we would have. So I can't be bitter about it. It's just time, Things come to a time. Time comes to an end. I know I don't always get to be here every week, but when I'm here, it can be sad that Bardadvice is ending. Yeah. Well, and by the way, on that note too, like we're gonna keep the Discord open. That'll still be there for people that wanna. Oh, now all of a sudden, all at once, I remember what you were talking about, Pirate. So yes, we will discuss that at length more, and maybe we'll do a bit of an update on here either next week or maybe the week after. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Man Shorts the movie. Yeah, Justin and I have talked about doing like some sort of a, even if it's small or short, like some sort of a. We're officially an art corner, by the way. But Justin and I have talked about doing a documentary type thing. Not to make it a whole big deal, but I think it would be cool to just do a little thing that's kind of something that just kind of encapsulates the whole experience for us, Hope for the continuation of the Flim Flam saga from Oblivion, but in Skyrim. I'm not opposed to that, River. I'm not opposed, actually, to gaming in general. I think that for me, it comes down to editing. It would be... Because, that's another thing I do weekly is these videos for the gaming stuff. For the last year, it's been Baldur's Gate 3, but then we just did this Phasmophobia one that was real fun. And then I've got I have probably well over 30 hours of satisfactory stuff that, you know, not obviously all of that is usable, but there's a lot of footage to troll through, and there's a lot of funny stuff that happens in that. So, good things of the week. Yeah, indeed. Since we're in chat, let's do that. Good things of the week. We had Thanksgiving. Everybody have good Thanksgivings? I had a good Thanksgiving. It was very nice. My wife and I went out to her mother's house, saw her and her parents. And that was fun. Didn't get to see everybody that we wanted to. And I had actually forgotten that we wouldn't be seeing the new baby this time. It will be at Christmas. But still exciting. A mockumentary and make it as overblown as possible. Yeah, like we're super important. Just do like lots of that. Actually probably would be really funny if Justin like did some like Christopher Nolan type shots. Good thing for the week, your youngest has his first official girlfriend. Oh boy, asking for prayers for you to deal with kids old enough to date now. Yikes, that's always a headache. That'll be fine. Saw Red One with your mom. It's actually a lot of fun. Man, I heard that movie tanked at the box. I mean, not that I think that that's good. It's sad, especially hearing that it's fun. I wonder if it's a marketing problem or if it's an oversaturation problem. Maybe people just sick of the superhero movies. That's how I feel lately. Like Man Shorts. I feel like it's like gotten to be like Marvel. It's just like, oh yeah, this thing that people liked a lot for a while. But then it's just kind of like, people aren't feeling it. Work Thanksgiving. Man Shorts, the movie is told by Kepler. That'd be really fun. Alone and went to a buffet. Well, at least you got a good deal. Work Thanksgiving, but found out potentially expensive repair to your vehicle is instead cheap and easy. Oh, that's always great. Grandparents are moving back to town. Got your tentative job offer from FEMA. Oh, that's true. And then you got 100% VA disability increase. That's awesome, Pirate. If you do the overblown mockumentary, you have to pretend that your character in Jump Before Noon is actually real. That would be fun. Well, I don't know. I feel like if we did like a full-on like this is Spinal Tap type mockumentary, I might like lean into the AI thing. I'd be like, yeah, I'm totally AI. Spent Thanksgiving driving to Louisiana in the morning to see family and then back to Texas late last night. Good thing of the week, got a non-injury accident about 2 weeks ago. Insurance totaled the car. Got the money within a week and just got my new car tonight. Not happy with the car payment, but the car is cool. That's great news, Purple. What insurance company do you have? Because that's amazing. You got a check for the total car in a week? That must have been pretty cut and dry, dude. Cowboys won Thanksgiving. Oh gosh. Yeah, I forget that you're a Cowboys fan. That's tough. Although you're talking to a Jags fan, which at this point, I guess we're just in a competition with the Giants to see who's going to get the first pick. Good thing. I mean, even the Panthers have moved on. You know what I mean? Good thing of the week, my dog had a successful cancer surgery and is now cancer-free. That is fantastic. Oh, you have farmers. We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. Cut to a super old computer with a yeah. No, I was thinking about that too, River, because we started in like what 2015, and technically I started making videos regularly online in like November of 2008, I think, and so yeah, that would be big fun to be like, yeah, this is all AI, like. We were way ahead of our time. We've got like, you know, we've got this contract going on with OpenAI. Chaz Headroom. Yes, indeed, lots of awesome news for everybody. That's fantastic. You feel like it's The Rock fatigue. His last few movies haven't done great. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Could be The Rock. What else is going on? How old was I in 2008? Jeez. 21? Yeah. I'd have been 21. And Man, that was back when the standard for like a YouTube creator was like those flip cams. And they were, I have an old one, but it's like a newer model because I bought a new one in like 09 or 10 around that. So no, it was 09 that I bought the new one because I think that I had the new one when Eminem's Relapse came out, because I remember we went to get that album at Target the day it came out, me and my buddy Nate. So I was 21 in 08. D&D edition videos have always been acted out by Sims characters. Yeah, the whole thing. Oh yeah, but those flip cams, they were like these little rectangles, and then you could push the side down, and it would flip the USB out that you could put into the USB port and just like directly upload your videos. And they shot in like 360. They shot in like 480p. The original Charlie over 9,000 vids. Yeah, dude. That was way a long, far time ago. Yeah. You can make a scene that's a joke about how you tripped and fell and somehow electrocuted yourself and uploaded your consciousness to an early internet. You've just evolved AI from the 90s. I do like that plan. It's like, no. We didn't send anybody back in time. We sent data back in time. Flip phones. I did have a razor. Yep. No, I don't know if I ever had a razor. I guess I did. I had a buddy that had a Sidekick. And that was when you had to text like... You had to hit the letters a bunch of times. Remember those days. That was back when they charged you like 10 cents a text. All right. Alrighty, folks. Here we are at the end. As usual, our hour has flown by. So we got to get out of here. But before we do, let's go over a few things that we like to do before we leave. The first of which is to remind everybody of the email address, which is bardadvice@gmail.com. It also looks like bardadvice. Please send all your questions, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques, etc. there at bardadvice@gmail.com. If you want to get some merchandise, do so over at manshorts.com, or go over to crackendice.com and get yourself one of the limited dice sets we released with them earlier this year. If you want to contribute to anything that I'm doing musically, you can do so directly via PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, all of which are Yahzick, Yahzick. Also, before we go, would like to once again thank all of our patrons, our members, our super chatters. Remind everybody to please like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, rate the podcast, join the Discord. We will be back next week, same Bard time, same Bard channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Man Shorts YouTube channel. The audio for this podcast, as always, will be made available tomorrow at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time. I hope that everybody has a fantastic weekend and an even better week, and we will see you next time.